Hey, it's Rashida Jordan here. I wanted to share this testimony that took place in our life this past week. You know, a lot of times we don't share when God has done something for us in a way that it can encourage someone else. We just keep it to ourselves, or maybe we go on and tell them thank you under our breath. But I wanted to tell you something that took place. So last week, my family and I, the boys were on spring breaks. Our sons are 11 and 13, and the boys were on spring break. And so we went to Austin, Texas. We just wanted to do a little getaway, about a 3 hour drive away from where we are here in Dallas. And we stayed at a hotel. And the first day we went, fantastic weather. We got a chance to sightsee and see a lot of nice places in Austin, Texas. And then on the second day, we had gone to the Capitol building. And this was a very profound experience for me. For some reason, when I was there, I just kind of felt at home. And I think it was at home in the sense of, Lord, why does this feel at home, the place where they make the legislation? Okay, so I don't know. We'll be praying about that. Well, anyway, we were going on to our next destination when my husband and I were driving. And we were not too far from the downtown area, kind of on one of the side streets. And we heard something dragging underneath the car. So I get out of the car and we pull over on the side and look underneath. Maybe we thought we ran over a tree branch or something. And we looked down and something was hanging from under the bottom of the car dragging. It was like a cord. Well, we parked the car and we had the car parked and raised the hood and pulled out what the cord was that was just hanging. And it turned out to be our serpentine belt. Now, for those of you who are mechanics and know anything about a car, I don't. The serpentine belt is a very long belt that goes around a few systems and pulleys in the car. It allows your alternator to run, it goes through various parts. And just this one belt is responsible for making about 4 or 5 things function. Well, ours had broken, and when it breaks, all of those functions shut down. And so now we're on the side of the road on this side street. And I could tell that the area wasn't the greatest area, but we were near downtown. But we were parked and there was construction going on next to us. And we pulled over. And so now we have to get into solution mode. What do we do about this? Because everything is starting to shut down. It's cold outside. The boys are in the car and we don't know where we are. We're in a place that we've never been before. And so we called the mechanic place. We called 2 of them. And I told them, hey, my timing belt is broke. I just knew a belt called a timing belt was under the car. And I said, my timing belt was broke. He said, well, we can't fix that until next week. We're backlogged. It's spring break. And that is a big deal with an engine. And I said, what do you mean? We have to leave tomorrow. We need this done. He says, no, we can't do a timing belt. You're going to have to leave your car here for about 5 or 6 days. Well, then I called another place, auto place, and the guy was talking to me and he said, what does the belt look like? And I said, it looks like a big, long black rubber band. And he said, that's not your timing belt, that's your serpentine belt. And next time, don't say timing belt if you're not sure that it's a timing belt, because that is a huge job and you can freak out a lot of auto places because that requires a lot of labor. I don't think that's your timing belt. It's your serpentine belt. So call Firestone back. They should be able to fix that. I said, okay, thank you. He said, also, here, call this company for a tow company. And so I called Firestone back and I said, hey, I gave you wrong information. Can you guys fix a serpentine belt? He said, oh, yeah, that's no problem. We'll get that fixed today before we close at 7. Bring the car over. And I said, well, I have another problem. Like, we can't drive the car. It doesn't work. It's not moving. He says, well, we can't come get you. I'll tell you what, here, call this tow company, Harper Towing. They're good friends. They do work for us all the time. They'll bring you right over here. Okay, fine. So I hung up with Firestone. I called Harper Tow Company and a woman answered the phone. And so I was just telling her, hey, we need to be picked up. She said, where are you? I said, I don't know. I can't see addresses. We're on the side of the road on the street. We don't know where we are. I'm looking on the map and I'm like, well, we're on Manor Road between Leona and Carmel Street. She says, I need an address. I mean, we stay an hour away from where you are. And okay. So my husband got out and ran and found an address. And I said, well, this is where we are. She says, are you next to a daycare? I said, yeah, that's there. She said, okay, we'll be there in about an hour. But you better call an Uber and a Lyft because we can't take you with us. I said, okay, no problem. Well, my 11-year-old son was on his problem-solving mission, and he went online and he found Quick Cab Company. Okay. And so he called, he said, Mommy, here's Quick Cab. So we called Quick Cab and we said, hey, listen, we need you to be here between 1 and 1:15 to pick us up because our car broke down and we're going to go over to this place on Firestone on Congress. He said, okay, fine, we'll be there. Okay, so now we're sitting in the car and it's cold and everything's dying and we're waiting for the tow truck. And she finally came. And when she pulled up, it was a woman named Shauna. She came out and we have a 2008 Honda Odyssey. I mean, this is the family van. We call her the Prince, and she's been there for us for a long time. And so she puts it up on the thing that they do with the tow truck and pulls it with the chains. And so my husband looks at her and he says, "Can you just take my family with you?" She looked at him. She said, you don't have a ride? You don't have a cab coming?" He says, "No, we called a cab. They're on their way." She says, "I can't leave you here. Get in the cab of my car. I'll take all of you. I can take all four of you. I got a big truck. Get in the car or get in the cab." So, okay. So she said, call them and cancel. So my husband calls the cab company and says, "Hey, I want to cancel the cab that I ordered." They said, "What?" "Oh, you know what? We forgot. We never even put you in the system." They weren't coming. So had she left with our truck, our van, we would have been standing there alone with no cab coming. Well, we get in her truck, and so now she's driving through, and she's telling us the real deal, Holyfield, about the area. She says, they found a body over here last week. And I said, well, what kind of area is this? I mean, I knew it was near off of downtown and not too great, but couldn't judge it because I didn't see the people that lived in the area. It was during the daytime. She says, you were in one of the highest gang violence, crime rate, drug areas, heavy in meth and heavy in drug dealing. She said, if it was nighttime, I would have put you in my truck first. This is not a place that you want to be. So I could not leave you there. I had to take you with me. Oh my God. Wow. We didn't know that we were in the belly of the beast, that we were waiting in a place that was so full of crime. See, the point that I want to tell you about this testimony, and it has one more piece to it. When you pray for God's protection, you better believe that he is a protector. We had no idea. We were in a place we didn't know about. We didn't know that we were in a place that was full of crime and full of drugs and left there. What is a family of four? What are they doing right there, just standing there? And I believe the cab company knew the area too. I don't think they forgot to put us in the books. I think they intentionally not put us in the books because they knew the area, but they didn't tell it to us. Well, God protected my family and provided for us. And we got a ride over there with Shauna. She began to tell us about the area and some of the things she's gone through. And I said, Lord, I just praise you and I thank you. And I also thanked him for the timing of when the belt broke. It didn't break the day before when we were going up hills and high places and high heels, winding around curves and coming down at 10 miles an hour in these tight places. It didn't break on the road on the way there. Sometimes the timing of when something happened, it will happen, but that's the mercy of God too. When it broke, we were able to get that fixed. Well, anyway, so we go to Firestone, and the cost of it was about $680. And the day before we left for our trip, a good friend of mine, her and her fiance, her name is Joy and his name is Jeff Cologne. She called me and she said that God pressed on my heart to give you $500. I need your Zelle. Now, I hadn't spoken to this friend in probably over a year, but God was already providing for the emergency that was coming up. Well, we didn't know 2 days later that once the discount was applied and they fixed it, that the cost of it was about $550. So not only is he Jehovah Jireh, he's the Lord, my provider. He's also our protector, our high place, our fortress. He's the shadow of the Almighty that we're in. He protected my family on this trip. He protected us and kept us safe. Well, we waited about 5 hours to get the car fixed, went across the street and just chilled out at the Embassy Suites. So we were actually in the lobby of a nicer hotel, just kind of eating some food and sitting and waiting. And we had an adventure, but we were kept safe. And within a few hours, we were back at the hotel, and the next day we were back at home. I needed to share that testimony with you because I wanted to give the praise and glory to the goodness of God for his grace. Grace is giving you what you don't deserve. I want to thank him for his mercy. I'm gonna not give you what you deserve. And I just want to thank him for his protection and his provision. And when you pray Psalms 91, he that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High God shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I would say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress. In him will I trust. When you begin to pray Psalms 91 and Ephesians 6, and you ask God to cover you and cover your family in the blood of Jesus, and you ask him to watch over you and to give you traveling mercies, do not take those prayers for granted. I'm here today to live another day because of the mercy and grace of God. And although I did not have where, something happened, it is what he prevented from happening, which deserves the mercy and the grace and the praise and the glory too. So I just wanted to share that testimony publicly. We don't do it often enough. We only brag about houses and cars and material things. Man, get that out of here. The goodness of God, our hope of glory. Christ is all I will brag on. But I just thank God for that. And I wanted to share that with you to encourage you. And I pray that the Lord will watch over you and to keep you. And whatever you're going through, whatever you're facing, whatever it is, God is with you. And he's a very present help in a time of trouble. Well, I love you and I hope this encouraged you. God bless you. I'll see you next time.